Welcome back, everyone. I'm gonna introduce now the next speakers, which are Burchak and Nessing, and they are both coming from central teams in AGC, and they are working in essential business services, and they have a title for today's topic that it's quite much more agile this time. That it's every change is an opportunity in agile, and they're gonna tell us like how they are embracing the acquisition of AGC to Advinta and what is the tool they are using for the teams, a little bit of a growth matrix, how are we assessing the teams into agile methodologies and so on, if I'm not wrong. We're gonna see more now. Just wanna say hi to both of you, and again, like in every other speaker, like many thanks to be here. That's one of the talks from all the marketplaces that are new at Adevintans and from the new family are really exciting. And let's see what can we take all of us from here. So all the stage is yours,
Thank
and
you.
good luck.
Thank you so much, Natalia, for the introduction, actually. And it's also a great opportunity for us to join and be present in here as well this year. So, shall we share the screen for the slides?
There you are.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right.
Well, hello everyone. Today we will be talking about how the organizational changes brought an opportunity to us and our journey in our continuous improvement with our teams. Well, as you know, change is inevitable in our daily lives. Sometimes it's something good in a way that you want, but sometimes it might be scary a little bit. As a part of our team culture, we are trying to see the positive side of changes and how we can turn them into opportunities along the way. Before going into details, first we would like to give a short introduction from ourselves. My name is Burçak Akbıyık. I'm leading the Agile projects and coaching team as a part of Essential Business Services within Global Capabilities and based in Amsterdam. Our team consists of project managers and agile coaches who support and drive the value using agile methodologies. I have been in the company around 4 years, and today we are going to present with my colleague Nessin.
Unmuting. Thanks. Hey, I'm Nessin, working as the Agile team coach in EBS, part of the same team, serving the organization to support Agile practices and mindsets across EBS to help deliver the value continuously to support our teams in their journey to become a higher performing team. I will take it up from here, actually, and then I'll give it back to you, Burchak. We have a great topic to share with you, actually, today. And that is our journey towards creating and using a self-assessment tool for our teams. But before we go straight into that, Burchak would like to start with a little bit on the journey, how it all started. So you can take it away from here, Burchak.
Thanks, Nessin. Well, yes, I would like to talk a little bit our journey and how this came. Um, well, I would like to start with the ideation part, actually. Within our department, EBS, we are using agile practices in our daily work while we are building software and delivering value to our business. As you might know, continuous improvement is a key in agile journey. So we are driving continuous improvements within our teams. And for our next challenge, actually, in our improving way of working, we would like to bring more standardized approach to continuous improvement process amongst our teams within EBS. One day we were brainstorming within our team, actually, how we can do this and how we can achieve our agile journey with our teams and what is our way to go. So we were talking about like some ideas. We wanted to enable the teams to do an agile maturity scan, which is an objective as much as possible. For us, the scope for now is the EBS wise for sure. And we would like to give the transparency on the measures with the data-driven approach, of course, so that we can see the process along the way, set the baseline and the improvements. And as we are talking about the continuous improvement, we want this to be visible and trackable. As a next step, we started exploring on how we can make our continuous improvements journey evidence-based. So what does it mean? I would like to give a little bit details about like how we can do our continuous improvement approach on evidence-based. So as you can see it here, I'm going to explain in a circle. So first, we will be evidence-based approach starts with collecting the data. The purpose of collecting data is to create a baseline to understand the current state. After collecting the data, the second step is to inspect. In here, the aim is to go through the collected data together with the team to understand the details, dig a little bit deeper in the data to understand what does it mean, what the data tell us. After the inspect stage, then we would like to identify the most pressing and urgent needs. So what is blocking the team from becoming a high performing team? This is really important for us to identify, and then afterwards, based on this identification, then we will be developing a strategy and initial plan for the necessary improvements. So as we started to develop the strategy, and right now it's time to apply these practices on the daily business. In some cases, team also might need some help from outside of the team as well. So this will be also an idea that we need to think about it. And then we can bring those extra help to the team to achieve their goals. And the last step of the cycle is evaluate. And what we are evaluating, so we are evaluating against the desired maturity ambitions, understand the new state, and also compare against the previous stage, and also the improvement strategy. So we have all the data right now, and we are comparing against all the data. With this approach in our minds, actually, we decided to have an assessment tool which can help us to set the baseline for us, and we can improve along the way. As we are working on our approach, on our new approach and identifying new opportunities within our department, there was also another change happening in organizational level. As Natalia mentioned, so there is a transition ongoing, and we were becoming a single organization with Adevinta. And yes, what an opportunity for us. There is also Agile coaches in Adevinta PNT team who were at least excited as us to meet and share the knowledge. So we took the opportunity and we were able to organize meet and greet session with our fellow Adevintans Agile coaches. As you can see in the picture, there is a big smile from everyone after the very warm and welcoming introduction session. During this session, we also had an opportunity to know each other better. And we realized that even we are coming from different organizations, different backgrounds, working with the different teams, the problems with the teams are similar. So the solutions. Once we shared what we are working on, we learned also that Adevinta already had a similar self-assessment tool they have already built and experiencing with their teams. It was called Team Growth Matrix. This was a great opportunity for us to start exploring a journey of collaboration together, actually. So we were eager to learn and understand how it worked from their end, what was the best practices, and any information that we can get from them based on their experiences. As we went through the details, actually, we saw that it was very similar to the assessment what we started already working on. So we decided to merge the work and what we have completed so far and tailored according to EBS needs. And from here, the journey for creating the EBS Team Growth Assessment started. And my colleague, Nesin, will walk you through the journey right now.
All right, thank you for that, Burçak. If you can go to the next, yeah, exactly. So let me go through the bits of details on the team growth assessment tool itself. But first, starting maybe with the various benefits we expect to see from deploying this tool for our teams to work with. If you can go to the next slide. As previously already mentioned by Burçak, the assessment tool is data-driven. It encourages data-driven conversations to have, and also decision-making for the potential team improvements. As the assessment touches on a lot of different areas that you as a team not always might be thinking of in your daily work or your sprint by sprint cadence. This transparency really might help the team in driving the right insights, which in turn also gives the team a very pleasant, surprising effect because it's something that's new and fresh. So it creates much more energy and motivation to start getting on top of the improvements, which then also encourages the team to own up and really drive these initiatives forward. And this is already what we've seen by using the tool so far. Possibly also what we also want to encourage this on objective level, right? Which in our case it is OKRs that the team then can commit to it every quarter. The tool is also flexible, and therefore we start to make it our own. So we tailor this to our needs, and we added the input in collaboration with our management team into the assessment. So we funneled down the 2021 visions we have for EBS and for our product and engineering practices. Another benefit of utilizing this team growth matrix is also to integrate this with our continuous improvement cycle that I will touch upon in a little bit later. First, I want to show you a little bit more details and going deeper into the tool itself. If you could go to the next slide, Burçak. Thank you very much. So what are we assessing in the tool? We covered the topics that we want to measure under 5 different areas called dimensions: team environment, product, way of working, engineering practices, and team dynamics. We changed these in terms of what makes sense for the wording in terms of what's being used in the department. The numbers you see on the spider web there are representing the maturity levels from 0 to 4, which I will talk about now. Thank you for checking. The lowest maturity level is 0. That would mean that the team is impeded and on this corresponding topic, and it would need urgent action to follow up on. The next level, it will be in transition, which means that the team needs action to make the process better. Above that, we have sustainable, which would mean that it's not good enough yet. However, the team can manage by themselves, and there is no urgent action required, but for sure there is room for improvement here. Maturity level 3 is ranked as suitable, meaning the team is in an okay shape, going towards the right direction. It's good. And then the last one is the unicorn maturity level 4, where the team really sets as an example for others and where they can inspire other team members in how they are handling things, but also inside the team, outside the team, everywhere. So they can even do conference calls if they want to. Can you go to the next one? Here are some examples of the topic descriptions, which are used for the scoring guidance. In here, we added the input to the different dimensions that are aligned with our 2021 ambitions. For example, under the engineering practice dimension, we ask the team if, in terms of how they feel empowered of taking architectural decisions within the teams. We also have engineering mindset related questions added to it, where we want to shift from more of a just execution to develop a more taking ownership mindset. Next to these, there are also descriptions added to the topics, as you can see from 0 to 4, which makes it also less open for interpretation and more objective based, as what Burczak was referring to, aligning it also more with each other's scoring. But also, if any description or topic is to be challenged by the assessment participant, he or she can do so, because that will actually be a very good signal to the or flagging to the management team if something is really bothering or impeding the team's performance in any way. So that's also a very, very strong thing we can use here. If you could go to the next one, Burczak. Here you can see the examples of the engineering practice and team environment dimensions with the respective topics that we score in the assessments. Each participant scores between 0 and 4, and between each of the topics, we see here also the average score of all the participant answers. If we can go to the next one, we have an aggregated view or results of all the dimensions in one overview, visualized in the spiderweb based on the maturity level that is scored. It's a very nice to see also here the evolution of each dimension to see if you're improving as a team in an area compared to the previous time you took it as an assessment. Also encouraging that this is not a one-time thing you should do, but it's a recurring activity for the teams. But it's really strong to see, and it's also kind of a celebratory thing with the team. If you see an evolution in some dimension, it's really nice to celebrate it as well. But if you could go to the next slide, the tool should follow a process, right? So bringing us to our process of continuous improvement, where we can integrate the use of the team growth assessment tooling. As an Agile team coach, we facilitate and guide teams in this process when it's required. The evidence-based approach cycle that has been shown by Burczak, we summarized in a cycle of 3 core pillars. First one being inspect, second one being adapt, third one being inspire. I didn't animate them like that, but yes, under inspect, it's really inspecting how we work as a team, right? Here it is running the assessment and capturing the insights, validating the data by discussing the results with the teams. As a facilitator under this pillar, we support the teams in having self-reflection sessions based on the output. And to see also if there's an agreement that's coming out, so we validate the improvement point together, but we also challenge the team on really what is urgent or important to tackle as an improvement, to really have the team think about what is key, what is really the biggest impact that we can make as a team for an improvement, and in which area, which dimension. Based on these conversations, an improvement backlog is to be created of, let's say, a top 3. Also, part of this is to deep dive on the how, right? So how does the experiment or improvement look like? Is it a new way of working? Is the training that we want to take for the team? Is it something that we want to flag to EBS on a bigger picture? And also, what benefits do we expect to get out of it? Right, that's another question. And similarly, for how do we want to measure and when do we celebrate? After agreeing on this plan to reach towards the desired maturity level, we go into the adapt phase, where we start adapting to the new way of working based on the improvement item. In this phase, we want to measure and track the success of the improvement and start validating the expected benefits that are defined in the previous phase of the cycle. Going over to the last phase, inspire. Here we want to inspire other teams with the improvement initiatives, making it transparent outside of the team as well. Even if the expected benefits are not as fruitful as expected, the lessons learned itself may be inspiring as well for everybody. Next to that, we also want to celebrate within the team, of course, to see how we have improved over time, looking at the results, if we reached our desired maturity level based on the previous maturity level we had, or the baseline. Bringing us to the next steps in this journey. I would like to highlight what the next steps are here. We want to complete a full run-through of the team growth assessment with one of our teams and get the feedback from them on the whole process. As this is something new for us and also the teams, this is the perfect way to get and improve on this whole process. In parallel, we're also planning to start this with the other teams. We also are trying to map the assessment with some recommended trainings and do-it-yourself workshops. So, which I haven't showed you actually, but doing this would make it also easier for the teams to take on the next actions for improvements or trigger their thoughts. As in the end, it's a self-assessment tool. We would like to make it as easy as possible to use for our teams. And it will be very nice to have this contained with the trainings. We also want to experience department-wide. How do we reap benefits from team to team in this process? When, for example, Team A has scored a unicorn maturity level on topic B, where Team B has scored lower on that topic, it kind of gives the team the opportunity to share and learn from each other, right? But it also may draw a better picture for the Agile coach or the Scrum Master in which teams the most attention is needed or requested. If the teams are okay to open up to share the results, of course, which all in all, we think would help strengthening our sharing knowledge culture within EBS. Another next step in the journey is to share the experience on how this journey is going. What we have learned and benefit from it so far, but also sparring with our Adevintans colleagues about this. What are the other good use cases to use this tool? For example, we understood that running it with new teams may be extra beneficial to really target some key pointers to improve, as it might be in a very storming phase, for example, within that team. And this would be a very good tool to kind of get onto that situation and leverage on, hey, what are really the key pointers we want to improve within the team? Last but not least, you also want to practice what you preach, right? So we want to make iterations and improve this process and assessment tool. Perhaps adding the desired maturity somewhere in the tool to commit on, or adding some metrics to the tool. We don't know yet, but time will tell, and we're open for the feedback. So we're gonna take a look how it will go for the assessment. That was it, actually, for the next steps in our journey, and also the last slide for this presentation. Thank you very much. I think it's time for questions, or I hand that actually back to you, Natalia, or unless Burchak, you want to add something.
Yes. So yeah, Burchak, do you want to add something before we go to the questions?
Nothing actually from my side.
Good. So we have first a comment for Ekan. The quality of questions in assessment was perfectly tailored in terms of reflection of the way of working. So it's again of a kudos, and I guess that he was using also the tool.
Yeah, context. This is indeed one of the people in the team where we started using the tool. So it's great to get that feedback back here.
Yeah, it's a super cool feedback, no? It's like a really reinforcement one. We have a question from Paula, and it's, are all 5 dimensions equally important for an engineering team, or some have more weight than others?
This was, if it's okay if I take it. This one was it's a good question. There was also a topic we had in mind, but in the end, we didn't want to weight dimensions or topics in the assessment itself. It is something that we want to challenge within the team and really get on a bottom-up approach where we say, hey, this is really important for us to fix, rather than rather X than Y. So no, in a short answer. It also really depends, honestly, on the maturity, right, of the team itself. If there are 4 dimensions that are considered as mature, and then the last one is very low, then maybe it is indeed something that should weigh more than the other dimensions.
Many thanks. I hope that Paola, you got the answer you were looking for. We have Igor also. How do you measure all these dimensions? What data are you tracking and pulling from which system to make them objective?
So measuring these dimensions. So it's basically the tool itself captures the. So you have the team score it from 0 to 4, right? And based on all the individual sum into an average, it gets calculated under the topic, and a topic belongs under a dimension. So in the end, that's how the calculation is done. And the average is also mostly the speaking conversation during the reflection sessions that we have. So if we see a lower average score somewhere, that will be then the topic to discuss. But again, it shouldn't be key, because we can also see something else that might be more valuable, right? So it's a little bit of it takes a lot of time, by the way, so we use the retrospectives for this. But it is really checking with the teams and pulling and making sense out of the data and see which ones is important to focus on. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, I would like to add that this assessment is like a self-reflection, like a mirror. So you are gonna see how you're processing along the way, how you're doing on your daily activities, and how you're good in the way of working. So also depends on what you would like to improve. It's also depends on the team, what is more important for them. So one dimension is not prior or trumps the other one, but it's more like for the team what they would like to improve and what is more important for them. So it's just to first to realize the situation that we are in, and afterwards to identify which area that we would like to improve and go with the new experiments over there.
Good. We have another question from Joan also. What is the more remarkable learning you get from all of this journey? So,
I just want to say quickly from my side, actually, it's not easy. It takes a lot of time actually to build an assessment, and also it takes a lot of effort from the team's side as well. So it's not like a 5 minutes thing. So it's really needs some time, dedication on this one, and afterwards the follow up as well, which is really important, so that you can really see the benefit of this evaluation, and afterwards taking the actions based on this. And maybe Nessin from your side.
Yeah, from my side, I would say indeed I underestimated the amount of work actually that we put into this. Tailoring this assessment towards our needs. So it was really a lot of also talks and with other people, and see how you can formulate it the best in order to get like a proper survey, let's say. And what I got from that is it paid actually really off, because we got really, really good feedback from the team already after finishing the assessment itself. And it was really good. It was not your average assessment, but it was really on point on the questioning and the dimensions. And as I said before already, it's also very very nice to see the different to kind of rate the different dimensions that you're not talking every day about. So that is also something refreshing and very nice for the team to experience. I guess the learning for me is, hey, it pays off in the end. So yeah.
and there is a very last question from Richard, and it's, I guess there is some data that the teams pull from e.g. Jira to inform their own self-assessment. I don't know if it's correct or we're running it and
Um,
We didn't get any data to use our for our initial assessment actually, but it's really definitely Jira is the one of the main tools that we are using, and I mean, there's a lot of nice metrics are available over there as well, which we can use in between the data from the assessment and together with the data coming from Jira.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I didn't get the question at the first, but yeah, you're right. And it's also really on the improvement itself that you commit on, right, with the team. So maybe you have Jira, maybe you have some other tool. But yes, for many of the initiatives, I would say yes, it does.
Many thanks. Well, I'll show you some coming from Eric too. He's looking forward to exchange some learnings. It's really nice to see a team growth tool, and other teams have done it in the past, but this looks really challenging. Also, there is other nice comments that I see you here around. We have a very last minute questions before we move to Nicoletta's talk. And well, it was from Maria Teresa, and it's thanking you for the presentation. And how do you prevent the team for focusing on single dimensions and lose sight on the impact they have on the big picture?
I
So
think that
maybe yeah, it's again, it's like this is like a self-reflection, and it's important to identify what is on the table. So what is there, and to make it transparent for the team. So, and we will be together deciding with the teams what is best and what is the way to improve and what is the first things should be focused on. And for agile coaches, it's always our job to bring everything as a transparent as well, to make the team aware of their needs or aware of the things that is running, and trying to show them the bigger picture as much as possible.
Perfect. Many thanks. So we want to leave it here. Thank you very much again for joining and for sharing that real experience. We're gonna see how it's going growing up from here. And anyone that has still a question, comment, want to check out, you have Nessin and Burchak also on Slack. You have us that will be available again on the website. It's available also for giving us feedback at any time on our website. And I hope you enjoy it. And now I'm going to present the next speaker. So thank you very much, Burchak and Nessin.
Thank you.
Thank you.